Welcome to my views and news. Thursday's first video for you will analyze the overall situation on Wednesday morning. Fighting erupted between Tigray Defense Force and Ethiopian National Defense Force supported by regional forces and militias. How is the overall situation now? What are the claims being made by Ethiopian federal forces and Tigray regional forces? Has TDF made some gains? Because some TDF aligned news sources claimed last night that TDF had taken control of some territories close to Kobo. We have some details and our analysis for you. Firstly, uh, this escalation is not a sudden escalation. It should be clear now that both sides were preparing, because Berhano Jula, in his interview with EMS last night, confirmed that ENDF knew that it was going to happen. And around 10 days ago, ENDF learned that TDF was making war preparations. It was about to launch attacks towards Western Front, other fronts. So it's not a surprise for Ethiopian National Defense Force. Same is the case with the Tigray Defense Force. It's not a surprise for TDF as well. TDF has been saying last week, TDF said that Tigray military command in a statement said that Ethiopian National Defense Force shelled its positions in Dadaba town. And secondly, on Afar Tigray border, some clashes, small scale clashes have been going on. Last week I did a video, I think 3 days ago, I did a video on some clashes in Yellow on Tigray Afar border, in Yellow Wareda of Afar. It means that preparations were there on both sides. This escalation is not sudden, firstly. Secondly, TDF can fight on for some time because now it has some supplies available in terms of food supplies, in terms of fuel supplies. It can continue fighting for some time, for a few months. It is not facing dire shortage of food and fuel. But people of Tigray will suffer because the supplies of food will be diverted towards the Tigray Defense Force. And yesterday we know that UN Secretary General spokesperson said that Tigray forces stormed WFP warehouses in Mekelle, and they stole 12 fuel tankers containing around 600,000 liters of oil. So fuel supplies, the TDF has managed to get some fuel. TDF was already in possession of some fuel, we know. When they left Cambodia last year, they stole fuel from Cambodia as well. Some activists, some journalists close to Tigray government, they are claiming that a few months ago, Tigray government lent fuel to aid agencies. And this is the fuel which Tigray government lent to aid agencies that it has now got back. So it's not stealing. We'll have to wait for a statement from UNOCHA, WFP. They have not confirmed that Tigray government lent them fuel, or how much fuel was lent, how much was returned. It's not clear. So let's wait for a statement from UNOCHA. But this attack by Tigray Defense Force on WFP warehouses in Mekelle will have serious humanitarian consequences. It means now aid supplies will be suspended. Afars will not let aid pass through the territories, because we know that tensions on Afar Tigray borders are rising as well. Fighting is being reported there. So humanitarian operations could be suspended after what happened in Mekelle yesterday. Now, One important dimension to this conflict should not be ignored, and that is the role of Oromo Liberation Army. Both TDF and OLA are allies, military allies. They signed a military pact last year. And now, when fighting is intensifying on Tigray borders, it means that Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara forces, Amhara militias, they'll be relocated from Oromia region, from Oromia Amhara border areas towards Tigray. It means OLA will be in a position to intensify its attacks if it wants to. The OLA a few days ago offered humanitarian truce, which Ethiopian government did not respond to. But yesterday we saw some reports about fighting in Bati town. Bati town is in Oromia special zone of Amhara region, close to Amhara Afar border, and we have seen fighting in the past in Bati. Local Oromo farmers, some say they were supported by Oromo Liberation Army. They fought against Amhara forces. Afar's militias became involved there as well. And once again, we are hearing reports that OLA-backed farmers are trying to wage war on regional forces in Bati. So what I want to say is that if Oromo Liberation Army decides to intensify its operations in Oromia Amhara border areas, in Oromia special zone, North Shore zone of Amhara region, it could be a problem for Amhara region, for Ethiopian federal government. That remains to be seen now. What will OLA do? Will it step up its attacks, or will it move towards humanitarian truce, or will it decrease its operations? That remains to be seen. OLA's decision can have some impact on the war ongoing in Tigray, near Tigray. What are the claims made by the two parties in the last 24 hours? Both parties have made some claims. Brano Jula last night claimed that Ethiopian National Defense Force repelled all attacks by Tigray fighters, and TDF suffered heavy losses. Then before that, we saw a statement from Tigray military command. Tigray military command said that enemy forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force, quote unquote, enemy forces were trying to break TDF's defense lines, but TDF's defense lines were intact. This is official position. What is on the ground position? Well, on the ground position is that TDF is trying to enter Afar. Yellow is under shelling. Artillery strikes are underway on Yellow from Tigray. Yellow is in Afar. And last year TDF managed to take control of Yellow, Gulina, Eva, Ora Waredas of Afar. This time shelling is underway. Has TDF made some gains in Afar? Not clear so far. But we confirmed last night that shelling was conducted on Yellow. Secondly, Kobo was very important front to the east and west of Kobo. We discussed yesterday are high places, mountains. To the east, Zobel, and to the west, mountains like Jemedo mountain, which are very strategic places. If you remember, in June, 2 months ago, I did a video on a mountain taken by Tigray Defense Force to the west of Kobo. Jemedo mountain, very strategic place, and it means that even after the truce, the two parties have been fighting for the control of strategic places like high places close to Abala on Tigray-Afar border and Jemedo on Tigray-Amhara border. TDF took control of Jemedo. What happened after that, we don't know. Did TDF remain in control of Jemedo? It's not clear, but fighting, close quarter fighting is being reported in the area of Jemedo mountain, where there is a church as well built on the top of a mountain, 3,000 meter high church. Jemedo church is in this area as well, to the west of Kobo. So fighting ongoing. To the east of Kobo as well in Zobel mountains, fighting going on since yesterday. Afar militia is involved here as well because this area is not far away from a far border. Afar militias, Fano militia, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara Special Force, all are trying to push Tigray Defense Force away from Zobel. Last night, some TDF aligned news sources claimed that TDF had taken control of Zobel. We could not confirm that TDF was in full control of Zobel, but TDF's attack on Zobel near Zobel mountains has been confirmed. So overall situation is very volatile. You can say that to the east and west of Kobo, overall situation is volatile. TDF has not made a move on Kobo so far. It means that it is still trying to take control of high places to the east and west of Kobo. We'll try to keep you updated about this developing situation. Thank you for watching.